Senegalese wrestlers, aka Lutte Senegalese, they have been converting into MMA recently with the noise being made by Bombardier in KSW in Poland, and Reug Reug obviously in one championship. But now the problem is we have not seen the success match the hype. A lot of people have their own opinions about why Senegalese wrestling is struggling. Senegalese wrestlers, are struggling to make it into MMA. First of all, I would like to go to Farouk now. Farouk, can you tell me briefly, in your own opinion, why do you think Senegalese wrestlers are struggling to break in MMA?
Yeah, I'm going to look at maybe three points or three reasons. Number one is because they come into MMA they come into MMA at the later age of their career. They don't come into MMA young. They are a little bit older when they come into MMA. They are past their prime or almost going out of their prime. So they struggle to adapt with the whole MMA skill set. So they're already used to a one-dimension type of fighting, which is the Lutte fighting, the Lutte wrestling. So coming into MMA at that age would take a lot of energy, time, learning. So after they try this for 1-2 years, they can't do well, they go back to Lutte wrestling. Second reason is that Lutte wrestling is well respected in Senegal, well appreciated, massive following. So, and the pay is good. From one of our followers who is a close friend of ours, give us good insight about Senegalese wrestling, and he said these guys are making thousands of dollars for a fight. So they feel, okay, I'm doing well in Senegal. Why do this? Why stress myself to go and learn a new skill? You get the point. So I think these are the two main reasons why Senegalese wrestlers are struggling to move into MMA.
Okay, yeah,
Even though they want to do it.
I'll get back to you. Mayowa, do you have anything to add on to that?
First of all, I want to say I don't think that they're struggling in MMA. I think that we have to judge them kind of in a more solid context. If Reug Reug is fighting in one of the top 3 promotions
in the world,
right? Most fighters don't start at one championship. They start, in a local promotion somewhere, and then they go maybe 5-0 first, and they go to one championship, and they go to UFC or Bellator, right? So for someone like a Reug Reug, I think that the reason that he got such a big jump in the first place is because of how big he is as a star. And he's still 3-1. It's not like he's 0-2. So it's not like they're struggling. But at the end of the day, he's a young fighter. He's not a
for the heavyweights.
But he's a young heavyweight fighter in a major promotion. Right? Usually, guys have to take time to go through the regional promotions and get their name there first before they get those big opportunities. So I think that we have to judge them by that standard. But I think Farouk is right when he says that those guys that they're old. I wish they would, and I know that it's a new transition they're making now. It's not something that has happened so long over time. I think the more we keep going into it, the more younger guys start to change, from an earlier age. And start to try to do MMA, the more it becomes more popular. I think now what's happening is that they're taking their biggest superstars from wrestling in Senegal and making them go to MMA. As opposed to just transitioning young guys that are still training or that are still young in the sport. So I think eventually everything will even out, and we'll see good talent progress higher and higher in MMA.
All right. That's fantastic. I like to have different opinions towards this. Okay, so me now personally, when it comes to Lutte Senegalese wrestlers in the MMA, I feel the problem is, as I stated earlier, muscle memory. It's when you take, for instance, a basketball player, when you grow up shooting a particular form, your jump shot, you understand? When you grow up as a kid, playing in college, playing in high school, playing in college, when you get to maybe the top leagues, the NBA or Eurobasket or wherever, it's hard for you to change your jump shot because your muscle has already memorized that stance. With that being said, when you wrestle in Lutte Senegalese wrestling, the style of wrestling has a lot to do with like pushing to the ground. So when you clinch and then you hold and then you strike awkwardly, pardon me for using the word awkward. It's not like I'm saying it's a bad striking. I don't want to disrespect Lutte Senegalese in any way. So when you strike like that, and now you transition into MMA where the striking is more technical and precise, with more setups being made. You understand? As Farouk said, it's Lutte Senegalese is very one-dimensional. In the end of Lutte Senegal, in the end of a Lutte Senegalese, mostly the winners are the ones that have more strength and the ones that have more cardio. You understand? It's not really about setups and execution too much. You understand? Heavily based setup and execution. I don't want to disrespect Lutte Senegalese. So when they eventually transition to MMA and they transition at an old age, late 20s, for example, all this your training of Lutte Senegalese is not just going to go away like that. If you see the Reug Reug fight, whenever they clinch, he keeps on holding the boxers of the Grishenko in the last fight because he can't take him down. Then he will hold his boxers. This is not Reug Reug trying to be dirty while fighting. It's muscle memory. You understand? He doesn't know when he's doing it. It's instinct. His instinct after clinch is hold the boxers and stay there. He only starts striking when the other guy starts striking. You understand? So there's a lot of that in place. So I feel for Lutte Senegalese wrestlers to be successful, as Farouk said, is for them to be aware of the techniques, not just for Lutte Senegalese when they are training back home. You understand? Because I cannot say they should just jump into MMA. Maybe when there would probably be Lutte Senegalese camps back in Senegal. So I feel like they should infuse a bit of like all-round training when it comes to mixed martial art. Mind you, when they grapple, when they wrestle, immediately you touch the ground, the match is over. So that means that they don't switch positions. You understand? Just like grappling and BJJ and wrestling, when you wrestle to the ground, you switch positions. It's switching positions. It's like a game of chess with the body when they do BJJ. And in MMA too, switching positions, trying to put in threats in different angles and different limbs of the body. But then in Lutte Senegalese, that does not exist. Once you touch the ground, it's over. So that's why the few fights we've seen of Bombardier and the few fights we've seen of Reug Reug, it's some ground and pound, and it's like a bit reckless. Because the last knockout Reug Reug had before this one, he fought a kickboxer that was not really good in wrestling. He wrestled the guy. He followed him, overwhelmed them with some haymakers, and then finished with ground and pound. The ground and pound, he even gave his back and he gave his leg. If the guy was a good submission artist, he would just grab his leg and do a leg bar or twist his ankle, his knee or his ankle. You understand? But the guy wasn't really BJJ aware. He was overwhelmed. So again, it comes down to the age and then the introduction of other disciplines in martial arts to the Senegalese wrestlers. That's my point. Farouk, I would give you a chance to like round up your points, or if there's anything left you want to say about it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm just so happy we touched this very well. I like the side from. I really appreciate your point. You break it properly. You talk about the technical aspect of it. That's JB. Mayowa point is that he talked about it being a new sport, which I also felt a little bit bad of being too critical. It's a new sport. With time, maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, we'll see more better guys, and like all we were saying now be in place by that time. So I think maybe I was a bit too critical, but in fairness, I think all points like are okay. Like to some extent, I would say.
Wait, Farouk, good. Mayo, closing remark.
I think that's it. I think at the end of the day, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
A lot of things that you said about the Lutte guys, you can say about wrestlers in MMA. They also just fight to pin each other to the ground, and that's it, and that's what they stop. So they still have to transition and go through that process of learning how to actually do MMA, and it just takes time. It takes time and development. So
all right.
It's going to come as time goes on.
All right.
Yeah. So before we wrap up this topic, I'm going to bring another subject matter. My question now is it's from what we've seen so far, 2 Senegalese fighters. In Senegal, like I said, Lutte is a massive. We all know Lutte is massive. It's a massive sport there. They have massive following. At some point in time, I was discussing with JB saying maybe UFC Africa will happen in Senegal, even though we know it's very unlikely because we don't have enough. We don't have any Senegalese fighter, I think, in the UFC at the moment. So it's going to be very unlikely. But the audience, the fans, the love for the sport is massive. I think Senegalese have more of combat sport audience or fans than even any part of Africa. So as we're discussing, maybe Senegal may host UFC Africa, but from what we've seen so far,
and by the way, they've hosted that's actually where Reug Reug fought first. It's called Aries.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm hoping they come back soon. And it was pretty clean. It was like, it looked very nice.
The production was really nice. Yeah.
So Senegal is a very, very solid option for the UFC.
Yeah, and they have good facilities as well. They've hosted different basketball African tournaments.
Dakar Arena is a beautiful venue, and the community there, they are very MMA smart. Okay, guys, let's move from this topic, Farouk.
Okay,